Welcome to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. Today we are going to be having a look at Near Protocol. This is going to be a higher time frame video. We will also have a lower time frame video linked up above, so check that out if that's more what you're interested in. Let's get into the charts and see what's going on. Okay, so we have price history here from October 2020, and now because of the fact that we don't have all of the data here, we need to just be aware there's always a potential that even though this is a low point within this chart, there is always the possibility that we could see price come back down here and look to take this. So that's what we need to just be aware of. There's a couple of ways we can look at counting this, and we're going to go over some of the more bullish and bearish ways of looking at this structure. Okay, so the first way that we're going to talk about here is the fact that we could actually have a trending move looking for an A, B, and a C to the upside. Now, this would be valid for as long as we hold this 534 area. Now, if we lose that 53-cent zone, this would make this C wave invalid. And what we'd be looking for here would rather be something else. I mean, it could still be an ABC, but it would be something like a flat then or something to that effect because of the fact we've taken this low. We need to just be aware that there is a potential this could be a bigger completed move into the high here, in which case we could see a deeper retracement, which could actually look to even retest this low. So we need to just always have these things in mind. Now, the way I'm looking at this count would be treating this as A, B, and C into this high. Now, that would be our A wave here. Now, what we'd be looking for is this as a W wave, this is an X wave here, and effectively having this as another A, B, C to the downside. So now what we're looking for is actually this B wave over here. So we're looking for this B wave, and we have some levels here. So the green target box here is actually showing us a typical retracement zone. So we've already come down to the 786 sitting here, this $1.16. If we do look to push down deeper here, we do have the 0.854, which is sitting towards this 0.908 level. So I'll be keeping an eye on that if we do see price actually continue to the downside here. Now, within this, we have some other target areas that could be quite interesting. So if we're looking at this as a W, an X, and a Y, we've already come past this 121. We have the 1236 at this $1.06. We have the 1382 at this 0.86 region. Now this one would be quite interesting to me, as well as the 1236. So what I have here on the right hand side, so this target box over here, is actually based off of this A wave. So because we're looking at this as potentially an A, a B, and looking for the C wave, this price target here is showing where we could get a shorter C wave. So some interesting zones of confluence are actually this 618 and this 1236. As well as that, lower down here, we have the 121 and this 1.618. And then we do have a little bit of confluence here between this 1382 and this 0.786. So I'd be interested to see if we do look to push down here. Those could be quite interesting levels, particularly this 1382, 786, and this 854 retracement are all pretty much in the same area. You know, we can start looking to the left here and say that there's this bit of structure here we could look to actually retest, but there's not really a lot that we can base this off of because we don't have all the structure here. So the idea with this is we'd be looking for a three-way move down and then looking for continuation to the upside. So what we'd be looking for would be this as a C wave. We do have a 1618 up here at this $300 level, which I don't think is really achievable. But if we did actually look to push up higher than that 1-to-1, what we do have is some other target areas here, this $75 and this $128 as possible targets to the upside. Obviously, the deeper we come here, the more this will actually affect this target to the upside here. So we're going to have to keep an eye on this. But I am very interested in seeing how we actually play out within this zone. Now, what I'd be looking for if we're looking for this count effectively would be looking for something like this, where we're treating this as 1, 2, looking for a third, fourth, and a fifth. Now we haven't reached 1.618 yet, which would mean that, you know, potentially we still have some legs to actually play out here. We don't have good structure though. This is the key thing. At the moment, we don't have good five-wave structure. We can still argue that this could just be a corrective move here, so we need to be careful until we actually get some additional fourths and fifths here. This count is looking more corrective at the moment. It does have impulsive legs, and what we're looking for is confirmation. So what I want to see is a move past this 1618 here at this $1.06, then see a three-wave move up for this fourth, and then see an additional fifth wave down towards this zone here of this 98 cents to this 87 cent region. Now if I just overlay this back on here, what we can see is this would actually look to bring us right down into that 854 level. So I would be keeping an eye on this if we do continue to break to the downside. Now, another way we could look at this is if we want to argue that this is actually a five-wave move to the downside off of this high here, we could then start to say, you know, what we could have here is this could actually be a bigger A wave, we're looking for a B wave to the upside, and we could still see that continuation down. Like I said, we don't have all the information. We need to be careful because it's always possible we could still look to take this low. Now, if this is actually just playing out in this way, where we're treating this as a completed move into this point, what we could actually see here is an A, B, and a C. Now, there's a couple of ways of reading this move here. Primarily, I like to look at it as a 5-wave structure, but you could also argue that within here you have something like this is A, B, C. This is a connector wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you've got some kind of a corrective structure here to the downside. So we're going to go over that in a second. Now, if we are looking at this count, what we'd be saying is we're looking for that possibility of actually having a push up here between this 382 and this 786 would be a typical zone that we'd be looking for. Now, if we're talking about a flat, what I'd actually be looking for would be more towards this 50% and this 382 here, because this is a typical zone that we look to target out. So what I'm on the lookout for is we've already entered this typical range for a B wave as a flat correction. Now we've come down to the 1-to-1 of the A wave. Now if we do look to push down deeper, we have this zone here of this $1.01, which would also be quite a big psychological level. I think pretty much if we go down here, it's quite likely we're going to see $1 hit. But as well as that, this 90 cent area is the most common area for a B wave when we're looking at a flat correction. So we're going to have to keep an eye on this. If we do still see that additional leg to the downside here, what we could actually still see is that possibility that we get a 5-wave move to the upside. Now this 5-wave move could look to target towards the zone of this $3.90 to this $2.84, and then if this is going to be a running flat, I would be keeping an eye on this $2.33 as well. We do have this high up here, which could be quite interesting to keep an eye on if we do see price actually move up into these zones. Now if we're looking at this corrective structure here, the way I'm currently looking at it is in this way, where we would be saying that effectively what we have is this is a W, this is an X, and then we're looking for an A, B, and a C for a Y wave. Now this would be looking to potentially push us down towards this 1618 of the Y wave, which would actually be sitting here towards this $1.01, once again psychological level. As well as that, we do have the 1-to-1 of this move here. If we're looking at this as A, B, and C, we have the 1-to-1 of that actually sitting here at this $1.09. So I would be keeping an eye on this. If we do see this continuation down, what this could mean is that we have this as A, B, and then we have this as a C wave. Now I'm looking for 2 fourths and fifths here. We're going to do we're going to go over this more in the lower time frame count, but effectively I would be very interested in this 1618 target and this 1-to-1 target here. So this would be looking for a B wave and a bigger flat correction. So effectively what we would then be looking for here would be that we'd be looking for a 5-wave move to the upside, looking to actually sweep these highs ideally. Most commonly as a flat correction, we look for expanding flats. But we can get these truncations and have a running flat, so we need to just be aware of that. Now if we did get something like this where this is ABC, this could be either a completed correction, or alternatively we could then get a 3-wave move down and then that continuation up, which would mean that we've got a much bigger structure here, effectively forming a bigger A, a B, and then looking for that C wave down. So that would be looking at this as a potentially completed move, looking for this as a corrective structure at the bottom end of this. Now another way that I am looking at this still is that we could also argue that within this count that we have something along these lines where we're looking for, it doesn't have to be an ABC like this. I've just done this as saying, you know, this could be a high point here and we're looking for a 5-wave move to the downside. It could be a flat. I don't know what's going on over here, so you know, it could be anything. So if we did come down into this move, we always have the potential that this could be a flat. Alternatively, once again, we have that same idea where we could have this as A, B, and C and still look to break the low before having a substantial push to the upside. Now within this count, we'd be looking at the structure slightly different. We'd be taking this move to the upside into this high over here rather, and what we'd be then looking for is that this could actually be potentially a wave 1, 2, 3 into this point. So the way we'd be looking at this as a 3 into here is we'd be saying this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now that would mean that we have this as a flat correction. So we'd have this as our wave 2. This is a flat correction, and because we don't actually cross this wave 1 point here, you know, this is still a viable count. So now within this structure, this would be slightly different because what we'd be looking for is a 5-wave move to the downside to complete this move. Now, if we are looking at this in this way, where we're saying this is 1, 2, and then we're looking for this as a third wave here. We could actually be still looking to drop down towards this 106. So this is very similar actually to the idea of the C wave that we were talking about earlier. We were looking at this as A, B, and C. Same idea that this would be looking for a 5-wave move to complete. The difference within this would be that if we have a 5-wave move off the top of this structure, this would mean that we would be looking for continuation to the upside afterwards, and then an additional rejection. So we're going to have to keep an eye and see which one of these plays out. But if we do complete something like this and we actually see the structure move up in 3 waves, we could still see that continuation down. Alternatively, like I said, if this is some kind of a flat correction here, we could look to actually complete this 5-wave move and still look to push to the upside, which would be the same as that other count. So that's going to be key here. You know, what we want to see here is confirmation of this count. At the moment, we just have corrective structure here. You know, there's many ways of counting this. We could argue that within this is A, B, or sorry, this would be W, X, and Y for an A wave. We've got a connector wave here. We have another A, B, C. There's a lot of ways we can count this. I am counting this as an impulse at the moment, but the way we'd be counting this would be slightly different to the other count, because effectively what we are taking is this move here as an additional 1 and a 2 here. So what I'd be looking for here is actually something more along these lines, where we're actually extending out, and I'm going to go over this more in the lower time frame video, but effectively what we'd have here is a series of 1s and 2s here, and then we're actually looking to continue this bigger third wave to the downside. So this would just mean that we are still within this bigger blue third wave, looking potentially to come down towards this 1.618 level. So if we did actually see price continue to break down here, I would also be mindful that if we do look to break down deep enough, we could even see this third wave potentially hit this 2.618 level here at this 64 cent, but there's nothing really indicating it at the moment. The target wouldn't be this low given the current structure, but we'll have to see if we start to get, you know, additional extensions within these waves. Having a look at this area as a range, what we can see here is that we're actually below this point of control here, and we do still have this value area low sitting towards this 68 cent region. Now what I would be looking for here is, you know, we do have this little volume node that we're currently sitting on over here. If we do see price actually break to the downside, we do have a bigger volume node here towards this $1 region. Like we said, they're going to be an important level within our counts. And then as well as that, toward this 90 cent area. So that is also an important level within our count. As well as that, lower down here, if we do continue to break down, what I do have is there is a monthly naked point of control, which is sitting here at this 86 cent region. So I would be keeping an eye on that if we do see price actually move to the downside there. That could be quite an interesting area that aligns with some of these volume nodes that we have. So another interesting level that is lower down here, like I said, we've already come down to the 786, which is currently sitting just where we've bounced. If we did come back down lower, this 89 cent region is going to be an 854 retracement of this entire move to the upside. Now, like I said, we don't have all the data here, so this doesn't mean that much. I'd like to have more structure here to work with, but off of this low, it would effectively be an 854. Now, we can see that this is quite an interesting zone because we also have these levels over here, which would be looking to actually back test this level over here. And, you know, if we do see price come down there, I would be interested to see how we react on this zone. Now, as well as that, if I overlay this speed fan off this low here, what we can see is that there is some confluence here with this green line and this 854. So I would be keeping an eye on this if we do look to break down. Alternatively, if we do actually look to reject again off of this orange line here, we could see price actually be gravitated down towards this $1.11. And then we also have this $1 level below us, which could potentially come in as support off of this line here. And then if we do look to push down, like we said, that 90 cent region is going to be quite an important level. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It is free to join. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.